Hey, what's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to From Data to Deals. Let's have some fun today, as usual. Welcome back. My name is Ola. I am the author of Smart Real Estate Wholesaling. It's a full blown book available for free at smartrealestatewholesaling.com. And I do have real estate money secrets. However, in addition to that, if you go to Smart Real Estate Wholesaling. With that being said, we're going to have some fun today. I just want to take first of all to share this. Today is Memorial Day. I know everyone is in the holiday mode. I get it, but business continues, the bills continue to incur, so we have to show up. Okay. Today is Monday, May 25 and May 25th, and it's Memorial Day. It represents it's a day to honor the men and women who died uh, at the in the middle of service as a military. But yeah, we're going to take about 60 seconds, moment of silence for those people so we can honor them because they're the reason why we enjoy the type of, they're the reason why we enjoy the type of freedom that we enjoy while we're here. We're able to do business and not worry about anything crazy going on outside. So a 60 seconds moment of silence. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. That's that. If you are a serviceman and you were part of, you're part of the reasons why we enjoy the freedom. You've made the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you so much. Thank you to your family for everything that you do. So today I have a couple of things I wanted to share with you. That I'm going to share with you here today. We had some questions that came in, and as usual, I like to dive into pulling data. This is about real estate investing, okay? And it starts with data, right? And that's basically what we come here to practice. There are 5 steps to that process. There's data, there is contact, there's leads, and then there's contract, and then there's deals, okay? Do like exactly in that exact order. So you can't really cry whales about deals unless you understand data, unless you understand contact, unless you understand leads, contract, and then you can say you're not getting. Then you have the right to say you're not getting deals. So that's basically what we come here to do. A couple of questions came in, Now, if you're watching me live, please introduce yourself. But more importantly, I want you to tell me, do you want me to do the Q&A first? Okay, you have 30 seconds to answer that because we're not that many here. So I can't keep waiting for you, if you understand, right? Do you want me to do the Q&A, answer the questions first, or you want me to dive in through some data first? The software that I use, the ultimate software that basically does all the work, is at empirebigdata.com. Okay. By the way, today's goals is make sure that as you're coming in and going, make sure you leave at least a thumbnail. If I say anything that makes sense, that is okay. But the software is at empirebigdata.com. We use, in fact, we do use PropStream. Okay. But let me see here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to address those. I took some screenshots. I want to address them first before we dive in. I do recommend that after this session that you go watch this video by King Kong. His name is King Kong. Okay. You could just go to Wholesale to Millions. It's a good video on how to negotiate with a buyer, because you're dealing with two different types of leads in this business. You're dealing with the seller first, right? Acquisition, but you also have to deal with buyers, which is disposition. So when you lock a property up under contract, especially if you're playing this game with no money down, you know how you want to flip houses, no money down, and all those kind of stuff. If that's the game you're playing, then you definitely need to understand that you're dealing with two different types of people. You're dealing with a seller, you're dealing with a buyer, and you're making money in between, right? So just as much as you will need to negotiate sometimes with a seller, you need to negotiate with a buyer. And one of the major questions that a lot of people ask is, what if I locked it up under contract, I don't find a buyer, right? Or I don't find a buyer. Well, usually there's buyer. If it's a deal, there will be buyers. However, if it's not a deal, there may not be a buyer. So you're building a buyers list, just like you do have to maintain a list of potential sellers. The money is absolutely in the list, especially a dynamic list. That's what we're here to talk about, data, and then the data is what you build a list out of, right? So with that being said, what happens when you lock up a property under contract and there's no one willing to buy it at the price? Then you renegotiate. It's really, really that simple. If you're speaking to a motivated seller in the first place, then there's always room to renegotiate. It's as simple as that. But he breaks it. He actually did a little quick role play, showing you exactly what that looks like. If your price that you locked up a property under happened to be too high, on the last episode of From Data to Deals, which is the 12th episode we did on Thursday, I did say something to the effect that anyway, bottom line is this: your price is too high. If the price is too high, it's not the end of the world. You will find out by the time you start talking to a few buyers, they will tell you they're not willing to pay that kind of price, and then all you have to do is find out, what is it that they're willing to pay, and then use that to renegotiate. On the last episode, I did show you an example of trying to find the right price. It's not always, it's an opinion. We use a few data points to determine a professional opinion on what we think a property is worth. And that's how we go about that. All right. Now, with that being said, speaking of value, there's a question that came in on one of our videos. Let me see here. I'm going to share another picture with you real quickly. So I'm flying through this. This is fun, right? It's another picture. There's another question that came in on a video that you absolutely should find time to watch later. Okay. And this is the question here. Okay. There's a video here that we have here called How to Buy Foreclosures in New Jersey. It's a video that's basically reciting on the wrong channel, but I left it there. It's one of our most popular video. I think we updated it to say 2020, but the truth is that video was done in 2016, but everything in the video is still very valid. But it's a question that came here from Daddy Bear. It says, any advice? I bought my house in 2007 in New Jersey for $182,000. Currently owe $167,000. Currently owe $167,000. Comps in neighborhood are 105, 118. So let's just say that's 105. Okay. When you're when you're looking at it from this standpoint, you have to be conservative. So let's just say 105, right? House values dropped when Fort Dix built. Okay, maybe that's a company. I'm not sure what that means. Built a bunch of new on-base housing, tons of foreclosures, and lack of renters interest in the area. So those are a couple of problems in there. Okay, first of all, is underwater. That's what we call underwater. When you owe much more than the property is worth, that's called underwater. Okay. If there's a bunch of foreclosure on this property, right? I mean, in that area, that's even additional layer of problems, right? But there's nothing really new about foreclosures. Most popping neighborhoods also have foreclosures, right? Um, for whatever reason, he claims is because somebody built a bunch of brand new houses. Lack of renters in the area, that's bad, but I need to see data to really know if that's actually a true statement. Because sometimes people will try to rent their property, they think it's like a flyby, just tell people about it, and then but it doesn't always work out that way. Excuse me, guys. Yes, sir. All right. Can you guys hear me clearly? Can you hear me clearly? See somebody saying that they can't hear me. If you can hear me, please let me know that you can hear me. So let me just keep talking. It looks like everything is good. Okay, so if there's some people will try to rent a property, they will slap a quick ad somewhere on Craigslist, and then they think tenants to just fall out of the skies. No, getting the property rented is it's still marketing, and you have to be aggressive with that. Okay, you have to be aggressive with how you're marketing, and if you're not aggressive with how you're marketing, that's just that much chance out of chances that you have to rent the property. So I don't know, but bottom line here is that he wants to know. It says any advice. Okay, so if you own a property, okay, so I'm going to give this advice because most of the audience here are people trying to make money in real estate. Looks like this person is a consumer, but I will answer the question anyway because the answer is the answer. You want to always show up authentic and give people the real answer. If they have a real life crisis and they have to sell a property, they have to sell a property. They will sell it to you. So that's why I laugh at people sometimes. They say, "Is there a secret?" No, there's no secret. The secret is to serve and help people. So let's help Daddy Bear, right? So if you own a property and it's underwater, meaning you're owing way too much on the property than the property is worth. If you don't have to sell, don't sell. If the neighborhood there's no lack of interest in renting in that area, it just means you have to be aggressive. You have to get it rented. If you don't have to sell, you don't have to sell. If you have, don't sell. Okay, because the market will come back up. Okay, the market is ups and down. Any market in life, that's why we call it market. As long as they're human beings, people are buying and people are selling. At what rate? That depends on the economy. But as long as there are people that live there, that means there are people that are willing to rent. You may just have to be more aggressive. Depends. I don't have the numbers of the rental market in your area. So don't sell if you don't have to sell. If you have to sell, then the strategy you have to use to sell is called short sales. You will have to find a buyer who is interested in your property. Okay, there's still a price for your property, like you just said. The price point right now is around 105, 118. So a person that will be willing to sit around for your bank to approve what they call a short sale will also want some kind of discount. So let's say you list it at a price. Agents are willing to help you with this. You list it at a price of $95,000 or $100,000. There will be people that will be interested because that's the market value. But once you get an offer on the property and you like the offer, and it's not about you liking it, the only thing you need is to get rid of the property. That's what you want at this point in time. And again, the only reason why you ever have to do that is because you feel like you have to. Okay, you're in a position where you feel like you have to. All right. So with that being said, you don't just understand that what it is a market, and the bank would be willing to entertain an offer at $100,000, $95,000, but the bank has to approve it, and that's what makes it a short sale. It's a short payoff. Okay, so your payoff is $182,000, but the bank must accept 105 before you can get through with the transactions. Why would the bank accept that? Because the bank will probably lose money if they wait until you stop payment, and if they have to foreclose on you and sell it, they still have to deal with that price point 105. What's the worst case scenario? They will mess up your credit, but again, that can maybe that's of least interest to you right now. If you're so stuck, if it becomes a survival thing for you, then you have to sell. What you have to sell, But if you don't have to sell, like I said, just sit on it. The market will come back up. Okay, the market will come back up if you sit on it. Does that make sense? So that's the answer to that. If you're watching me and you're trying to get started in real estate, or you're already in real estate, you needed to have that answer, because people will ask you that question from time to time as well. Is that making sense? Are we making sense, guys? Are we making sense? All right. So I think there's another question that came in through our community tab. Just wanted to let you know, we do have a community tab. When you're on my channel on YouTube, there's a tab that says community. I would try to ask questions there from time to time and share some goodies there. So sometimes I put a poll there to find out what you want to learn about, and so make sure you're participating over there. So for example, this question was from this was a question I asked from 2 days ago. All right, let me take that banner out of your face. All right, so what was and is the most difficult thing for you to understand in real estate wholesaling and investing? And S. Benny says, amassing an unlimited list of certified cash buyers as soon as possible. Once that's covered, things should be smooth sailing. Well, I don't know if that was an answer or that was an advice. So speaking of cash buyers, why don't we just go ahead and play with some cash buyers? So how do you amass an unlimited list of certified cash buyers? Certified, what does certified means? I guess certified means somebody certified them, give them a certificate, or does it mean it's proven that this person actually purchased a property for cash? Which one is better? Which one is better? Okay. Now I have a couple of other questions, but right now I think this would be a perfect time to go into playing around with the market a little bit, right? I think this is a perfect time to do that. I'm going to log in real quick. We're going to go into this software. Again, if you want access to this software, you can try it out for 7 days, absolutely free at EmpireBigData.com. It's called PropStream, okay? And it's a one-stop shop, basically takes care of the first 2 steps in that 5 steps, okay? So 5 steps: data, contact. Data, you need access to information about people that are potentially distressed with their property ownership. Those are the people that will sell to you at a discount, nothing else. And even if there was, the only thing that's worth spending your time on marketing to are distressed homeowners, because you know that there's a higher chance that they will want to sell to you at a deep discount. When you buy at a deep discount, what does deep discount means? I'm saying minimum of 65% of the after repair value of the property. Okay, so you should know that. Let me share my screen real quickly so we can start diving through and find an amassing an unlimited list of certified buyers. How about we do that? And we're going to go to, let's see what county to go to today. Let me first of all share my screen with you. Share screen. Let's see. We're going to go to PropStream. Awesome. Isn't that awesome? All right. So we're going to do that. And the county we're going to go to, I don't know what this person sent this answer this from, but either way, today let's go to, it's called Shelby in Tennessee. Okay, has about a little bit less than 1 million people population. Shelby, in Tennessee. Okay, how is that? Uh-oh. Okay, so how you do that is you go to Shelby County. You have to make sure you put county. Okay, we go from a county level. Okay, um, then Tennessee, not Texas. Tennessee. There you go. Okay, so you see there are multiple counties with the same names in different states. So you want to make sure you go there. So in terms of amassing a large, what's the word again? I'm trying to use the exact word this person used. Amassing an unlimited list of certified cash buyers. I'd rather go with a proven list of unlimited cash buyers. And that's, look at that right there. Cash buyers, 58,000 cash buyers in that county. However, not all of them, majority of them are probably not active in the last 1 year. So the people that we need to reach out to and get them on our list are the people that have been active in the last 1 year. Okay. If you go, let me just share something new with you. If you stretch back to 2, 3 years, it may not be a bad idea. Some people, you can wake them up if you have the marketing budget to reach out to them and say, hey, I have properties that I lock under contract from time to time. All my friends have under contract and they're really good deals. And wanted to know if you're open to buying right now. You just never know. You may wake somebody up from their slumber and they may decide to spend some money on real estate, right? So when I clicked on that, so now I clicked on this box, which is cash buyers. Then I'll go here and then I have to filter down to sales information only within the last 1 year. Okay. And if you want to stretch it down to 2 years or 3 years, that's completely up to your marketing coverage. Okay. It's completely what you've decided to do in terms of market coverage. If you said this county is where I want to focus on and you want to build a list there, you build a list there. If you are very ambitious, you can go through all 3,000 counties in the nation and build a massive list from there, from each one of them, and segment that. There will be other wholesalers that will be happy to do business with you, split profit with you, just because you understand the power of list building. Okay, the power of list building is extremely powerful to build a massive list of cash buyers. Okay, so I'm going to go here under ownership. I'm going to go to last sales date. I want it to be no more than 1 year into the past. Okay, no more than 3 years, definitely. If you need to expand and just want to focus on that market, no more than 3 years into the past. Anything beyond that is just simply not an active buyer. Okay, so you need active buyers. So 2019, and today is May 25th. We're going to go back to May 25th, 2019. And that filter is right there. I'm going to close this. And now we have 5,000 people. Now that's not the end of it. I'm going to go back to filter. I need to make sure that these are residential. Okay, this is just preference. I prefer that these people have bought residentials in the past 1 year, not commercial properties, not office buildings. Those are two different types of animals, and I'd rather stay focused, stay targeted, and stay focused. Okay, so all classifications, no. I want residentials only. Property types, all no. I just need singles and multifamily. There are a lot of people that buy condos for cash, but they're not investors. So you're just going to waste money marketing to them when you do market to them. If you don't take them, if you don't suppress that part. So just select single family, multifamily up to 2 to 4. There's nothing wrong with commercial building, buyers and stuff like that. I'm just saying, if your goal is to be targeted in your marketing and stay focused, you understand that the whole market is not yours. There's a certain niche. If you're a wholesaler, you stay focused within a certain niche and price range. Okay. So multifamily 2 to 4. Okay. And I'm going to say, let's see here. Okay. So that's that. All right. Let's go back there to that screen. Okay. I was looking for the close button. There you have it. So we're now down to 3,901. That's a list of people that have actively bought properties for cash. Okay, so let's just scroll through this and pick a random one. Let's just pick this one. Somebody purchased this for cash, and let's see what's going on with it. Nice looking properties from the thumbnail. Okay, looks like let's see. Okay. All right, so Here's another thing. Okay, so let's just go through this. You see that the owners, Evans Landon, they purchased this all cash, right? All cash, $100,000, and it's a cash. And you see it says cash sale right there. If they didn't purchase it for cash, you would not see this tab, right? $100,000, just literally less than a month ago, they purchased this property for, right? And now, is this a purchase for investment purposes? It doesn't look like it because I'm looking at this price point right now. The range is, well, it does look like it. Okay. Arm's length residential transaction. So that means it's not from a family member. The seller was SQ. Okay. So I'm trying to look at why somebody would pay $100,000 for an average sale of $400,000. That's a pretty good deal, right? If this was a flipper, they're gonna make some serious money from that. You can make 100 grand easily from that. But I'm looking at the inside of the property. The picture looks pretty clean. So we don't know. Maybe that's not the ideal. There's probably extra stories to that property. So let me go to another property here. This was purchased for $15,000. So for the kind of deals that we're talking about, you're probably not going to see some of them. You're not going to have pictures because somebody found them in the middle of nowhere. And okay, this property is worth 165. There's average sales in the area, and somebody just paid 288 cash for the property. So what's going on with that? We don't know. There's extra story to that. So this is probably not the ideal situation I'm looking for. Let me see here. $20,000. Okay, so we can just scroll through here and just look. So as you can see here through the little thumbnail right here, you can see estimated value and you can see what the sales price was. So this is ideal. Somebody paid $50,000 for this on the 8th and is worth, the area estimated value is 169. 40, 52, that's too close. Okay, there's no discount there. 41, 64, there's not much discount there. Okay, the same thing here. Okay, the same thing. This one is actually worse. This area is $14,000. Okay, anything below 100,000, I don't even like to look at. So if you like, you can actually go here and say people that purchase a property for $4,000 are probably not real cash buyers. They had some money laying around. They found a really nice piece of property. They purchase it. So you could literally go here and you could say minimum sales price, because if it's too small, there's no room for you to make $20,000 per deal. Think about that, right? So you could go here and just put minimum $100,000. That would drastically reduce your list, right? Okay, we're gonna close. All right, so it slashed it by half, and that's even better. Okay, so now we can even scroll through this list. So somebody purchased $263,000 for 160. That's $100,000 discount. All right, this is not ideal right here. Sales price 175. That's not ideal. Okay. All right. So there's a certain type of property. Now you could look at this. This estimated value can be off. Okay. It can mean so many things. I probably wouldn't I'm just showing you this data so you can know how to read it. Personally, I wouldn't care about all of this. They purchased cash. That's all that matters. That means they have cash to purchase a whole property of a minimum of $100,000. Okay. There's probably a good chance that there's more money where that money came from. Look at this one right here. Well, that was the one we saw earlier, right? So sometimes this could be smaller houses, could be a developing neighborhood. So you just never know. They may say it's worth 191 based on recent sales of other properties that has not been upgraded in that area, and that property could be worth $500,000. That's why I generally don't look at it from here. Okay. If I wanted to get into more details, which I don't do unless I have a lead that I'm talking to, but I can go a little bit deeper into this, right? Now look at comparables. This says average 212, right? Property was purchased for 154, so they did got it at a discount, right? There are two pictures, which means it's not recently. Usually that means it wasn't recently repaired, right? There's only one picture actually. There's one empty picture here. Comparables. I'm gonna go on comparables, and then I always just deal with the MLS unless I need more. Okay. And then on the comparables, I like to do only property class of residentials for the same reason, right? We're only dealing with residential, single family up to 4 family properties, right? Okay. And that's the list of properties selling in that area. So if I go, I could just click on this column header to see what the highest price in that area is, all within, let me put 1 mile radius just to make sure that we narrow that down. So all within 1 mile radius, I like to see. I'll click on the column header of amount to see what the highest. So there's a highest price here within 1 mile radius. So this property is within 0.7 mile radius, right? Same town. You want to make sure it's the same town. Okay. Cordova. Yeah, Cordova, right? So remember, I'm in New Jersey. I can do deals anywhere around the nation. So it doesn't really matter. These are the data. I work with the data and that's it. All right. So 307, the property is so for 307 here, 272, 272, 272. So I'm going to deselect this select all button. I'm going to select the top 5. And that's the number that I usually run with as the potential amount of money that we can get for that property. $277,000. Okay, so now I've dived away from looking for cash buyers. We know that there are proven 1,000 plus cash buyers in this area, and all I had to do was literally add those property to the list, skip trace using the same they have on the left hand tab right here. I will skip trace them and find their contact information, and just once I lock a property under contract, I will send them something and see what they say. I don't call them to say, can I add you to my list? No, I don't do none of that. Okay. I only reach out to them when I do have value to offer. Okay. So just calling people and asking them questions like, hey, do you mind if I send you properties? It's a waste of time for everyone. Lock something under contract and then send them the information and see if they respond. Once they respond, you know this is somebody actively open to the idea of buying more properties. Just build a list. The fact that they're on this list is proven, so you don't have to re-verify or revalidate yourself that, hey, I'm in the business. You're just wasting time that you could be spent that could be spent looking for the next leads. Okay, collect data, contact, generate leads, lock up a contract. After that contract, then you have deals disposition, to be specific. And that's the point where you want to be reaching out to people that can potentially buy the contract, that you can assign the contract to. Okay, for a nice fee, of course, right? Which is why you make your minimum $100,000. So when you're doing your market research, which is always the first step. By the way, we're going to be coming up with 11 days challenge for acquisition side of things. We're working on that right now. If you're already a member of the original 11 days challenge, which is mostly disposition and affiliate marketing, lucky you will just have easy access. You can go to 11. Let me show you that. 11dayschallenge.com. Okay, let me show you that real quick. This link right here, 11dayschallenge.com, to sign up if you want, or you could write it down. Once it's ready, we'll let you know. And you can also launch your business live in 11 days. You can get going in 11 days. So we started working on that 11 days challenge for acquisition, real estate wholesaling, real estate investing. We already have 11 days challenge for disposition. If you just want to do JV all day long, we already have that, which is also about building a list, okay, of buyers, but monetizing the buyers without waiting to close the deal. Okay. All right. So let's go here. All right, so let's see here. So I will pick the top 5, okay, just to determine what this value is. If I was looking deeply into what this property is worth, to me, this property is worth $277,000 or $108 per square footage. That's what the property is worth. And if I price this property right, if I buy it at a good price, I can get it sold in 30 days. And this is all based on 1 year of data. Now, in this market right now that we're trying to bring the economy back, there's nothing fundamentally wrong with the real estate market. This is all happening because of the kokoro, right? If you're Nigerian, you know what kokoro means, okay? So let's go back here. I'm going to go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right now, there's no bank lending money to people with comparables up to 1 year. They probably get stuck at 6 months. They don't want to go back too much into the past because it doesn't tell the proper story of the last of the property with respect to recent times. Okay, so I'm going to go here and put this on November 25th. Nothing more than that into the past. And let's see if that number changes a little bit. So I take out that box. I don't click here. I don't click the highest. Okay. Unless I really need to look closer at the details. Okay. What I do is I go to price per square footage. I go to the highest price per square footage. I click on the column header twice. That's to sort it from top to bottom, from the highest to the lowest. The highest here is 120. So I'm going to pick the highest 115, 115, 112, 112, because it's much more accurate. Because if I need to add a little bit more square footage to the house or anything like that, I can do proper estimate for that. And if I don't have to, the numbers will be adjusted based on the size of the house automatically for using this number per square footage. It's basically living area in the property, right? So there's a subdivision thing here, but I don't worry about that because I already have 1 mile radius. This is virtual wholesaling. If there's more information really needed on that, my buyers would tell me. Sometimes, by the way, sometimes buyers in a particular area will tell you what, well, yeah, the houses next to each other, but they're 2 different properties. You will hear that sometimes. But again, you don't need to worry about that until you're at that junction. Okay, so we'll go back here, price per square footage. We sort it by clicking on the column header to highest to lowest. Okay, and I take this out and I select manually the top 5. Okay, that's what I do. Select the top 5. The appraisers, real certified appraiser, you only use 3. So, but I'm looking at the highest potential that this property can sell for. Okay, so look at this. This is more realistic based on this market. This is more realistic what this property is worth. Not 270, but 236 and $114 per square footage. And if we price it right like that, potentially this property can get sold in the next 23 days if it's fixed up and it's ready to go at 236. So why did I look at that number? They purchased at 154, right? They purchased that at 154. If you go to dealestimator.com, right? You go to dealestimator.com and you want to put an offer on a property, right? And I know that this property is worth $236,000. I will put that there. It's a free calculator, right? Right. The tab over. Let's just assume it needs only just a little bit of work. Spend about $10,000 of work on it. I can pay 141 for that property. Okay, I can pay. I will probably start my offer at 139, and you can see that this person purchased this property at 154, a little bit more. Okay, but maybe the property doesn't need that much work. Maybe it needs 5,000. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they'll know their market better. Maybe they're using a different rule. As you can see here, there's a 65% rule, there's 70% rule, there's 80% rule, depending on how busy that market is. So you have to know that market too, right? But generally, 70% is typically good enough. At 70%, I can afford to pay up to $153,000 on that property, right? And that property would be at 154. It's not bad, right? It's not bad. If they paid 154 for that property and they put in how much work? They put in $11,000, so they're now up to about $168,000, $170,000. They list it back on the market, right? And they sell it for $230,000, right? That's still a spread of, let's see, about $60,000. Okay, so they'll have to pay closing costs and some other fees and stuff like that. Realtors commission and stuff like that will factor in as well, depending on if you use them or not. But if you price it like that, you'll be pricing the property right. And that's very conservative because I used only 6 months of comparables. We call them comparables. That means properties that are similar, close in proximity, and similar to the property, and within 1 mile radius and within the last 6 months. In a good market, they go back as far back as 1 year because it means the market is stable. You go as far back as possible depending on the stability of the market. Clearly, this market is not stable because there's demand and supply affecting the market right now. Nothing is wrong with real estate fundamentally speaking, but the truth is that people are not buying right now as much as they should be in most places because of what's going on. Does that make sense? So back to the real question. I have proven 1,518 cash buyers in this area in the last 1 year. Proven, not certified. Certified is BS, overrated. Proven, okay? And that's what you need to be looking at, okay? All right, so with that being said, that's how much we're going to play with this system today. We do have some questions. If you want to use this software, try it out for 7 days for free. It's empirebigdata.com. And after that, I think it's $97 on that per month. Don't quote me on it, but it's absolutely worth it if you plan on building this business into $1 million business per year. Okay, forget $1 million. If you could do 100 grand per year on the side just doing this, would it be worth it? I'm sure you're saying yes. All right, so let's go to a couple of questions here that I want to address that I've already put on the banner here. We're going to look at them together for the rest of the session. We have another 12 minutes, about another 13 minutes to go. Okay, so look at that question. Look at that question right there. Can you let me know exactly how the contract and equitable interest process goes? All right. So this question is a question that popped up on a video that I thought it was interesting. So wholesaling, we're talking about wholesaling. Basically, what you're selling is equitable interest. Okay. You lock up a property under contract. What does that mean? You sign a contract agreement with a person who is selling a property that you are willing to pay a price of a certain amount. So, for example, the case that we just had, we will be paying $154,000. Let's say they agreed to $150,000 for that property. As you can see, it was purchased for $150,000. I signed a contract, right? The fact that I signed the contract gave me what they call equitable interest. It gave me an interest in the property that I can literally sell. Okay, that's the way it works. That's what we're selling. When we say selling it, meaning I can assign it to another person to execute on the contracts. I locked that price in at $150,000. Okay, so forget that. I locked it in at $145,000, right? The person wanted to pay $155,000. Who's the person? The cash buyer that I found on my list is open to paying $155,000 on that property, right? But I locked it in at $145,000. They pay me 10 grand. They give $145,000 to the seller. I made 10 grand for finding the deal, and it's really that simple. Okay, so the interest that I secured with a contract is what you call equitable interest. What's the process? The process starts from data analysis, like I've been showing you here. If you want to come back tomorrow at 4 p.m., I can go through another county, and then you see how I pull this data, right? You can also go back and watch the past episodes of the series, right? So you pull data, you contact the people, those people, the addresses that comes with the data and their owners and stuff like that, you contact them. And then once they say, yes, I'm interested in selling, that's a lead, okay? They're responding to a text message. They're responding to a postcard. And they say, yes, I have this property. I need to get rid of it, right? That's a lead, okay? That's the third stage. Then once you agree to a price, you lock it up under contract. You secured your equitable interest in the property with a contract, and you assign that to another person. That's called deal disposition. Okay, that's how that process works. So that's the answer to that question. The next question here says, would you recommend buying a car for the purpose of driving for dollars? Is it that powerful? Okay, so definitely this question did not come on my channel. This question was, I saw it on somebody else's video. I watch a few videos, maybe 2 or 3 per day, so I can see what people are saying out there about the business. And then I look at the questions that people are asking, because this channel is not that popular. Okay, so then I'll bring that answer here. That's the whole point here. Would you recommend buying a car for the poor? I don't recommend driving for dollars, so that definitely didn't come from here. I don't knock driving for dollars all the way either, because I don't know your situation. It depends on how your brain works. My take, 15 years experience in this business, is that it's not worth your time. There are cheaper, more efficient, effective ways to market, collect data. Obviously, I've been showing you here the same data. Yes, people that are trying to sell you an app will tell you that it's better data that you write down on the street, but it's a lie. We have access to the same amount of data, okay? Except that we have a better ability to analyze those data, stack them in terms of motivation level, and find people that are highly motivated to sell faster, easier, cheaper, okay, right from a laptop, okay? So we live in a virtual world, so I don't recommend that. Now, with that being said, let's just assume that driving for dollars works for most human beings. That's a lie. Some people do get lucky. However, it doesn't work for most people, okay? It doesn't work for 98% of people that actually try it for at least 30 days straight, okay? But let's just assume it works, right? You're going to go buy a car. It's the same thing as Uber trying to sell you a car, okay? By the way, every time Uber sells you a car so you can drive for them, they make money, kickbacks, in one shape, one form or the other when they do that, okay? Is it worth it? No, it's never worth it. Now, if you go to the auction yard and pick up a car for $2,000, $3,000, and you're good at fixing cars and making, because if you end up spending $300 every other month on fixing cars, then you're in problem. There's not a lot of money in Uber driving. So it doesn't matter what they tell you. Oh, you just pay $300. You're gonna be stressed out. Your back is gonna hurt, and you could get sick. So is it worth it to ever pay to buy a car just because you want to make minimum wages? Did you know that there's a lot of people that are closing deals, that close their first, second deal? When they do the math over a 6-month period of time, it's basically minimum wage job. It's not worth the amount of emotional, mental energy that you put into that, and you only made 10 grand in the last 6 months. The only way this is worth it is if you build this like a real business. You understand tools, you understand techniques, you understand using systems, you understand that it's a numbers game, you understand data, because we live in 2020, okay? That's the only way this is worth it. So if people ask me, is real estate wholesaling worth it? It depends on your mindset. If you fall for gimmicks like driving for dollars and you think you're going to get lucky like the testimonial that you saw, then you have a problem. You may get lucky and close one deal, but one deal is not going to change your life, guaranteed, okay? The only way this will change your life is understanding is so simple. Collect data, contact leads, contract deals, turn that to a system, build it like a real business. Take it serious, like the person that hired you to your regular job, right? This is a real business, right? That's the only way that is worth it. All right. So no, driving for dollars, first of all, is not that powerful. Second of all, it doesn't matter if it was powerful or not. No, it's not worth buying a car for it. Okay. Now it depends on what you mean by buying a car. If you're buying a $2,000 car, it's not worth it unless you know how to fix cars, because the $2,000 cars will end up putting you in the mechanic shop every other month, and you spend $300, $500 on fixing that. It's not worth it. Okay. As a matter of fact, to me, my personal philosophy right now, it's not worth it to own a car unless you have kids and you're a woman and you need to carry those kids around. It's not worth it owning a car. Uber is actually cheaper. That's my personal philosophy right now. Do the math. Okay. All right. Can I have good and comparable success with getting leads from skip traces and lead lists? The only way to compare is compare yourself against your last performance. Okay. Gurus will pull numbers out of their ass just to tell you that something is good. Okay. Just to tell you that their own skip tracer is better than the other one. The best way to find out is, I'm going to tell you, it's only a percentage of any time you skip trace that will come back with phone numbers. It's always a percentage. It's real business. It's always a game of percentages. What's the percentage? I don't know. From list to list is different. If I pull a vacant list, the data is different from when I pull a pre-foreclosure list. When I pull a mix of both, a stack of both, the data is different. But it's so cheap, it's better for you to pull your own data, measure your own numbers. If it's really that important to you, really the most important factor in this game is consistency. Just showing up every day. That's it. Okay. You learn the fundamentals, It's so simple, and you just show up every day. Because naturally, by showing up every day, you will find that you will learn some things that other people that sit on the sidelines to want to figure everything out first, that they will never find. Or they will listen to a guru pull a number out of their AS dollar sign and then give it to them and call it truth. And it's just that powerful to be an influencer online. People take your word like the gospel truth. All right. I'm just telling you, you need to show up like an entrepreneur and take responsibility. Start doing. Okay. If I'm showing you, if I tell you, go to empirebigdata.com, go try this out. What's the worst that can happen? You try that for 2 days, you say, I'm not going to pay $97 per month. At least you know that, because you know that from actually doing, from actual performance. You see that, this is not my style, right? Rather than waiting to hear my words as gospel truth. I'm just warning you, the position where we stay in when we stand on a stage and talk is very powerful, and it's very easy to take my word as the gospel truth, and your truth can be different from mine. You may just get luckier than I am, okay? You may start a YouTube channel tomorrow that will blow up to 100,000 subscribers. Mine has been since 2016. It's 2,500 subscribers. It's just what it is. I don't make my money from that. I can't depend on that. There are other ways where I have a gift. It's not just on YouTube, okay? I haven't figured it out yet. Maybe somebody else knows something that I don't know. It doesn't matter. I only have 24 hours in a day. As long as I have my own success in my own right, that's what matters. Get in there, get in the trenches, and practice and see what works for you. Because just by practicing, that's why they call it the doctor's practice, you tend to become an expert, okay? You don't become an expert by reading books. You have to practice, okay? All right, so let's see. The next question here says, it's actually a long question that I thought it was kind of, because I noticed that a lot of people will follow this game and then get butt hurt because they try something once and it's not happening fast enough, and the only reason because they're measuring their own journey against another person's journey, right? So let me just tell you like this, okay? Sounds like a lot of these wholesalers, person means wholesalers, okay, not wholesalers, are just getting control of the property. That's the equitable interest I mentioned earlier, right? Yes, in fact, control of the property, and then jacking up the price. All right, so he missed the part that you're locking it under contract at a deep discount. You're not jacking up. You cannot jacking up the price doesn't help you if you don't lock in a deep discount first. You own that discount because you negotiated that discount. That's one thing, okay? So he's already missing it. And then jacking up the price, that's false, and selling it many times without even seeing the property. Seeing the property is not valuable. It's not real value, okay? Seeing the property may be valuable to you or to me, but maybe not to the third person. It's literally like, what's your business? If I'm willing to lock a property under contract, as long as I execute the deal, right, and I don't see it, what business is it of yours, right? There's a lot of people, you will watch me right now, you come in this game and you want to question everything, and you want to critique everything without ever running a business before. What we call value in business is not in your eyes. It's in the eyes. It's relative. It's in the eyes of the receiver, the person that's locking the property under contract, okay? So many times without even seeing the property, and then he goes, that is dishonest and a huge disservice to the community, right? So it's not even sure of what he's saying. It's an acquisition. It's not even sure of what he's saying. The reason why I brought this up is this, okay? Don't do it if you don't believe in it. Don't do it if you don't believe in it, especially if you've never run a business before. But here's business. Business is you make money when you bring value to the marketplace, not necessarily to yourself, okay? The value there for you is the money you make. You're able to feed your family. But you make money when you bring value to other people. So if I contact, right, I pull a data, I contact a seller, and the seller find value in signing a contract at a price, yes, deeply discounted property that I negotiated, meaning I worked, right? And they lock that and they find value in that, and I make money, that's legal, okay? That's legal money. Now, when it comes to regulations of the government agencies, different topic entirely. Bottom line is that when people are coming into a game, and there's a lot of people coming into the game and try to learn the game and stuff like that, then the government will step in and say, you know what, maybe we should regulate something. A few people are complaining. Are there people that are taking advantage of people and doing stealing, cheating, and lying? In any market that's popular, there will be things like that. But that's why we have government agencies. That's why we have regulations. That's why we have policies. That's not my specialty. You can talk to your lawyers. If that's your priority, please do what you got to do. But keep in mind that people are literally making legitimate money because they bring value to this marketplace. It's really that simple. It's not rocket science. Okay. Somebody has a property, they don't want the property. They don't have the time to sell it at the full price. They rather just get rid of it. That's valuable to them. Okay. And if I get good at and I get the skills of finding such deals, or I get good at finding buyers for deals like this, right? That's disposition, right? Then it's absolutely worth it. All right. So, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me here. Here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to do before you leave. Okay. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Doesn't matter if you're watching a recording later. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. I know Monday is it's a struggle, but if we're getting watch time on Monday, this is just a recording. That's fine. I'll continue to do it. If I look at the numbers and it's not really good on Mondays, we may just cut Mondays out because we work on performance only. Okay. SmartRealEstateWholesaling.com. Go get it for free. It's a PDF download. The options of Kindle book and audiobook is also available there. And if you go there, I do have Real Estate Money Secret, my newest, there for you too. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I will see you on the next one, and peace.